Hello everyone and welcome to Retail Archaeology and part 2 of my look at Laguna Hills Mall in Laguna Hills, California. Part 1 mainly focused on the interior of the mall, and in part 2 we'll be focusing on the exterior. Now, like I mentioned in the first video, this mall was originally built in 1973 and then underwent a renovation in 1994. The architect on this project's name was Edward Killingsworth, and unfortunately he passed away in 2004, but he is actually an architect of some note in the Southern California area, so I wanted to make sure and document as much of the outside of this as I could before it maybe gets changed for the Five Lagunas project, which I discussed in my previous video as well. What we're looking at here is the Macy's that closed in early 2018, and we can see a little bit of label scar here on the front of it. And this building was original to the mall. There was also a Sears anchor that was unfortunately recently torn down. I wasn't able to document that. This Macy's was originally a Broadway at one point, but turned to a Macy's when they acquired the Broadway stores. And unfortunately I couldn't see in the window there. This mall doesn't have a food court anymore, but there are some restaurants that line the outside of it. You can see a big closed one here and then a smaller open one there off in the distance. And this is the Jcpenney, which is also an original anchor to the mall. And man, does that look like a 1973 Jcpenney. I love this building. I love the light fixtures and the awnings on both sides. It really dates the building, but in a good way. I definitely wanted to make sure and document this because, as we all know, Jcpenney's not doing very well either, so who knows how much longer this building will stand. And I absolutely love this little seating area tucked off to the side, and that light fixture might be my favorite part. That has to be original to the building. Now, this sign is right off the I-5 freeway, and this advertises the coming soon Five Lagunas, which is what this was supposed to be turned into, but like I mentioned, construction halted when the Macy's closed unexpectedly. And I have to say, I hate that name. I'm sure that it's named that because it's right off the I-5, and that's become a common thing, like with Fiesta Mall changing its name to Campus at 60. I hate that naming convention. Here we can see a lot of empty parking lot and the Jcpenney off in the distance. And that fenced off area is where a lot of the construction and stuff was happening. Now, thankfully I'm tall, so I'm able to hold my camera up over the fence and we can take a look, and it looks like it's mostly just material storage back here now. Like I mentioned, construction's been halted for several months, so I don't see any activity going on back here, just storage. Now down there is where the mall service corridors actually are. They're on the outside, and if you take a look at part 1 of my video, I actually explored some of the guts of this mall and went down in there. There's some interesting stuff. You should take a look at it. Now, lastly, I wanted to wrap it up with the subway, which just recently opened, I think a few weeks before I filmed this, and this is a brand new subway, and it's weird. I'm not sure I like this modern design. But this is one of the few food options that are left here right now at the mall. I found this little charging station kind of interesting too. That's nice, that's convenient. What I found really interesting though were these self-ordering kiosks. I'd never seen these before in a Subway. You could still order your sandwich from the guy at the counter and do it the old way, but you could also use this as well, but I don't think this was any sort of an improvement. I feel like this actually took me longer to order my sandwich than the old way. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed part 2 of my tour of Laguna Hills Mall. Like I said, I wanted to make sure and document the exterior as well, since the mall was designed by an architect of some note, and also, like I mentioned, the Sears building had already been demolished, so I wanted to make sure and document the Macy's building and the Jcpenney, since those were original to the mall as well. Anyways, let me know what you guys thought of this video down in the comments below. And like I mentioned, I feel like I could have ordered my sandwich and been done already from the guy at the counter. Anyways, everyone, thanks for watching. Want to see your name here? Head on over to patreon.com/retailarchaeology to find out how you can help support the channel. Hey, thanks for checking out part 2 of my look at Laguna Hills Mall in Laguna Hills, California. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, you really should do that because you're missing some cool stuff. Also, make sure to follow at the social media links there because that's the best way to keep up with what's going on with the channel. And as always, thanks for watching.